Good morning, everyone. Hope all of you well and happy as usual. So before we start our Dharma class, the first step we do the breathing meditation. After that, then we do short visualization of Buddha Shakyamuni and do short meditation. Then third step, based on visualizing Buddha Shakyamuni, we generate bodhicitta based on the four immeasurable practices. I mentioned many times, so unfortunately, many Buddhist countries, many Buddhist people have a lot of misunderstanding about how to practice Buddhism, how to be Buddhist. When Buddhist people, many Buddhist people, the average Buddhist people, when they think how I should practice, how I must follow Buddha teaching, Buddhism, the first thought we have, chanting, recitation, prostration, then doing some dana here and there, and very much emphasize, focus on accumulating merit. That's it. Average Buddhist people, they are always be very happy to do this just simple daily practices. Recitation, chanting, prostration, offering sadhana, being generous person are necessary, important, but those are not actual dharma. Practice can transform your life. Can you transfer from samsara to liberation? The most important practice is the meditation. Without meditation, without doing the proper meditation, the first basic thing, we cannot change ourselves. The second, we cannot control our negative thoughts. Then most important, we always believe ourselves, one day I can be Buddha. I can be free from all sufferings. So without meditation, we cannot be free from, free from suffering. We cannot be Buddha. Therefore, as a beginner, we always need to focus on meditation. I'm not saying only meditation. Focus, most important is we need to focus. We need to do the proper meditation, not meditation, it's a proper, the right meditation. Then people who are the Buddhist people, the Buddhists who are interested in meditation, for them, just, stay in the quiet place and play some, relaxing musics and burn kind of a nice incense. Then just always try to sit quietly. Don't have any thoughts. This kind of meditation is a totally, the wrong meditation according to Buddha teaching, according to all the Indian Buddhist master. So therefore, the first, we must always remember the meditation is the most important. Second, we always remember the correct way of meditation is most important. It doesn't mean we need to do only meditation. This also one of the extreme. If you only focus on meditation, not reciting all the sacred mantra, all the chanting, prostration, and a daily, sadhana, and also is one of the extremes. So we should not, fall into two extremes. We must follow in the middle path. In a one hand, we must do the proper meditation. In the other hand, also we must do our daily recitation, chanting, prostration, mandala offering, being generous. Then, we can say, if we follow the right path, which is the middle, then the liberation, the Buddhahood, free from suffering, is not that far what we believe. Therefore, the first step, we just, be relaxed, do the proper breathing meditation. While, we are doing the breathing meditation, your mind just follow the breath. Focus on the breath in and out, in and out. Don't worry, the breath is short, very short, shallow, long, very long. In the same time, while you are focusing your mind, some other thoughts pop up in your mind. Don't worry, still you just focus on your breath until your mind become very calm and very soft. Then second, I say, okay, next you meditate on Buddha Shakyamuni. Then in the past we used to, we use one of the particular image of the Buddha. So you just remember the complete image of the Buddha, and your mind also just focus on. Don't think, oh, this is Buddha Shakyamuni, he free from suffering, he was born in India. Don't think this thing. Just focus, just watch your mind to the Buddha. Then third, when I say, please generate bodhicitta, then you must visualize all sentient beings around us and cultivate the four immeasurables. Bodhicitta can be generated if we generate pure great compassion. Great compassion can be generated if we generate pure great loving and kindness. The great and pure. Great mean there's no discriminative between this sentient being, this sentient being. There's no boundary between sentient being. You must focus on all sentient beings, particularly the person, the animal, the sentient being whom you really don't like. That's a great. Pure mean the compassion must be very unconditional compassion. Right now, we have, kinds of compassion which is very biased, which is very conditioned, which is very contaminated. It's a very biased because our compassion able to accept only few people. Therefore, it's a very bias. Second is a very condition. Until you receive, good thing from other, until we receive good thing from us, we have a very compassion mind. We are able to practice compassion. We are able to practice love and kindness. When the person stop giving you, good things, the person stop to see you, as usual. The person stop talking to you, and also we stop our compassion, love, kindness to the person. That's a very condition. Also, it's a very impure, very polluted compassion, because it's based on attachment, based on condition. Sometimes we really don't know whether I have a compassion or I have a attachment to the person. So we have a mixing kind of love and compassion. Therefore, it's a very impure. So based on the pure, great compassion, love, equanimity, then generate bodhicitta. These are very important. Also, these are the very important, solid foundation for achieving Buddhahood. Okay, first, everybody, I said, meditate on your breath, mean concentrate, your mind fully concentrate about your breath in and out. Second, visualize Buddha Shakyamuni according to the image of the Buddha. The Buddha Shakyamuni is a fully the enlightened being, completely free from all kinds of sorrow and sufferings. Not just free from suffering, he is full of compassion. He is the most kind of, the kind person on the planets. That we ourselves wish to be like him, free from all kinds of sorrows, sufferings, problems, difficulties, and have a pure compassion, love, omniscience. That means have a strong aspiration, become a Buddha, like a Buddha Shakyamuni, which is we have been visualizing. In order to be a Buddha like Buddha Shakyamuni, then there are three conditions are very important. Compassion, bodhicitta, and wisdom. Within the three, the first important as a sit is a great compassion. When we actualize, the great compassion, then bodhicitta is next to it. When we have bodhicitta, able to accomplish bodhicitta, then Buddhahood, becoming Buddha is very, possible. But we always have a strong desire to be Buddha, but we don't practice bodhicitta. We have a strong aspiration, motivation, practicing bodhicitta, but we don't practice great compassion. Therefore, the great compassion is the most important, like a seed to grow bodhicitta, then cultivate the fruit, which is Buddhahood. Therefore, please visualize all sentient beings around us, particularly visualize the human being or your relatives or your friends or your colleague whom you really don't like. Also, some of you really hate, really don't like a snake, a cockroach, ants. Also, you can visualize, those, like a creature who you really always, really hate, really, not happy with them. Cultivate equanimity, look equally. The neutral person, your enemy, and your dearest friend. Both of them, all of them equally want happiness, doesn't want sufferings. Just look equal, those three people. Here one thing I'm going to say, emotionally, mentally, very easy to think equally. The neutral person, your enemy, and your dearest person. Mentally, be able to accept their equal. Also, be able to accept, those three people are equal for me based on logics and reasonings. Practically, not easy at all. Let's say you have a most beautiful gift in your hand. So can you equally share the gift, those three people? Definitely, you give little for your enemy and bit bigger, bit more for the neutral person. Then you give the biggest, the more your dearest one. This means very clear. You have a strong attachment towards your dearest one. When you give, more bigger to your dearest one, you feel very happy. If you give bigger and more your enemy, very little for your dearest person, you feel very unhappy. Also, your dearest person feel very angry. How come, he or she give me very little? He or she give much bigger, much more for, the enemy. Therefore, when mentally you're able to accept these three being are equal, you should not feel, oh, I am able to practice equanimity, right? Slowly, you have to go through the practical practice of equanimity. Then, based on equanimity, the equal mind towards these three people, then slowly you extend this same kind of equal mind towards your neighbors, the rest of the human beings, then slowly all sentient beings. Then if your mind is very equal, then very easy to have great love, pure love. Once we have very in the pure and great love, then very easy to have compassion. Then when we have a pure love and compassion, equanimity, then bodhicitta is right there. Therefore, just cultivate bodhicitta based on four immeasurables, in front of the Buddha Shakyamuni. That's means simply just you think, I want to be Buddha to benefit all sentient beings through the 6 perfections. Then what Kamalashila says, after you cultivated the conventional bodhicitta, then we need to practice the ultimate bodhicitta. Ultimate bodhicitta means we need to realize emptiness or selflessness. After you fully cultivate bodhicitta, then suddenly you ask a question. The Buddha, the enlightened state, which I always wish to achieve, is it the independent phenomena or dependent phenomena? The sentient beings, which I always cultivate love and compassion, are they independent phenomena or dependent phenomena? The person, me, I am the person who cultivated bodhicitta, who practiced 4 immeasurables, who visualized Buddha Shakyamuni, who meditate on, who concentrate on the breathing. Am I independent or I am dependent? So you ask few, question yourself. You ask question yourself how they are really exist. Particularly, you need to reflect on you. For example, me, I am Yunten. How I can recognize myself, right? So, in order to recognize the actual me or I, then you need to analyze. You analyze about self, I, me, how I exist. Therefore, from the non-Buddhist, school point of views, based on the Hindu tradition, they believe me, I is a permanent phenomena. I am permanent. They call self, soul. Soul or self is a permanent. They believe me or I, self is always permanent. First, you think that way. Then you ask you ask a question. The I, which is experience sufferings, the I, which is experience happiness, the I, which is, always want to be Buddha, am I permanent or not? Am I permanent? Am I impermanent? Asking this question, then you need to find the answer. First, based on the teaching. Second, based on your own analysis. The teaching is all the Buddha teachings, all the teachings we have. These are look like we say in the teaching is like a guide. It's like a map, like a guide map. When I have Singapore map in my hand, I should not just happy. The based on the map, then I have to move. I need to think. I need to find the meditation. It's same way. It's exactly same. All the Buddha teachings are on you. You open the book, then study about, like things are permanent or impermanent. The teaching said all the conditioned phenomena are impermanent. And then you should not just think, yeah, it's impermanent. Then you have to think. So you have to think by yourself, not just believe, the simple sentence. Then you analyze, am I permanent? I am impermanent. Right? That means through analysis, that finally you will going to know I am impermanent. I was 1 year baby, became 1 year old. 1 year old, baby, now is a 50 plus year old. Means I have been changing. I was very youthful. I was very young. I become old. Now I become very old. That means I'm changing. I is not permanent. Permanent. Yes, still then, yes, I'm not permanent. I'm impermanent. That means how I exist. That means through study, again you open, one or two books, write few lines from the books about emptiness, dependent origination. That means you read. Also, you should not just think, oh, everything is independent, or everything is dependent. The book says, the master says, everything is interdependent, dependent origination. Is it true or it is false? False. We never know. Again, you need to study. Study doesn't mean you open up another book or another book. No. That means if you open, more books, more and more books, that means you are just, opening different maps. One Singapore, even though Singapore, right, we have a 3D map. We have a different maps. Then when you open one map, you look through, then you have a doubt. Then you open another book, you have a doubt. You should not open, books and books and book. You read a few lines, reflect on the meaning, do analyze about the meaning, try to understand. Things are dependently arise. Dependently arise. Then you will understand emptiness, the wisdom, right? So today, our class more about meditation. So before we, open the books, I felt, I need to say something. We have been practicing Dharma. We have been reading a lot of books, attending, many classes from many masters. We have one problem. It's a big problem. It's also, I think, it's a very big obstacles. When, we are reading our books, when we are, listening, teaching, we are very okay. I don't have an enemy. I don't have an anger. I don't have attachment. I'm full of, compassion person. When you are reading a book, or when you are attending teaching. After you close a book, stop the audio or radio or YouTube or whatever, finish the teaching. When you go out, then I'm not a full of compassion person. I'm a very angry person. Before I was very happy, very calm person. When I get out from my house, when I stop my reading books, I am very disturbing person. This means we are very much, we have a very kind of fantasies, strong fantasies about practicing Dharma. We practice Dharma while we are open book. Closed book, no Dharma, no compassion, no contentment, no patience, no understanding. You become just normal person. So this is a really, kind of big mistake in our life. So after you close your book, the understanding you got from your book, the experience you have, you got from the books, the experience, the knowledge, the understanding, you must bring with you all the time. When you have a strong attachment to something, remember impermanence, emptiness. When you have, when you feel the anger is arising, remember the teaching about love and compassion. Apply the love and compassion when the anger starts arising. So this is, I think, how we should do. Study, must have understanding. Then the understanding and study and knowledge, you always bring with you for 24 hours. 24 hours. At the same time, when we study about Dharma, we not just try to increase our knowledge about Dharma. We should not try to be, I'm better than him or her. Oh, I have a better knowledge than this person. We should not just focus on increasing, our Dharma knowledge. We always try to transform ourselves, try to change yourself. How to change? How to transform? Very simple. Actually, everything is very simple. Very simple. But we ourselves make more complex. More complex. Therefore, our life become more misery, more difficult, having more difficulties. Because the simple is actually very simple. The simple state we make very complex. For example, we need food. We need food. Very hygiene food, healthy food. It doesn't mean we need to eat all kinds of food. We need to eat every restaurant. We need to try all food. Therefore, the food is actually very simple. We need simple food, but we make very complex, complex, very complex. For example, you like a cake. It's okay. You can eat whatever you like. You like to eat cake. You always like, eating cake. So when you reach to the shop, you confuse. Which cake I should buy? The carrot cake, like a cheesecake. There's a tens different types of cheesecakes. Actually, all the cakes are the cheesecake, but they put different color, different design, different shape, put on the different plates. Then you thought it's totally different. So you confuse. You should not have a discount. You like the carrot cake, you just go, just simple, just buy one of the carrot cake. Just buy one of the cheesecake. Don't think the design, the color, the shape, don't the company. Therefore, we simple things may make complex. Clothes. Why we need to wear clothes? Why? Protect your body from the hot, sun, raining, the mosquito, the insect. We need a cloth. We need clothes. Protect our body, cover our body, right? But when we buy clothes, again, the simple thing what we need a clothes to protect your body, cover your body, but we make very complex. So we have to, free from this kind of complexity. So therefore, when the more you study Dharma, you try to be a very simple person, try to be very happy with the simple things. Simple doesn't mean you always eat the spoiled food. No, you must eat very hygiene, healthy. Simple clothes doesn't mean you always, collect the clothes from the dustbin and you wear. No, you wear very hygiene and clean, very stable, very comfortable clothes. But should not worry about all the design. Again, like a watch. These days people don't watch, wear watch. Watch for what? Showing the time. When we buy watch, we have, again, the simple idea become very complex. Again, the color, the design, the company, then the belt. So we very much become very worried, we confuse. So the more you study Dharma, the more you practice Dharma, you learn how to be happy with the simple things. Simple clothes, simple food, simple house. Right? So we need to change. You must, I say, we must always try to change ourselves based on the Buddha teaching. Follow the Buddha teaching, how to transform yourself, how to change yourself, how to be more happy person with the simple things. Simple things, right? This one. Second, another problem we have. We have our own kind of, world. Let's say, there's 20 people around you. We all sit together in one big hall. 20 us sit together. Sit on the same cushion. But 20 people has a 20 different world. 20 people has their own standard. Standard for me, my food always this. My clothes always this. My car always this. But you have your own kind of creation world standard. When you cannot get the food which you like, for a few days you become crazy. because you have your own, standard food. You cannot get the food today, tomorrow, for whole week, you become crazy. You cannot get the food which you like, the standard food for 1 year, you're going to die. Clothes, drink, everything. Therefore, the more you learn Dharma, you try to be very, flexible person, flexible. Yes, I like cheesecake, I like carrot cake. If I have, which is very good. If I cannot, it's okay, I can eat other cake. If I cannot get any cakes today, tomorrow, for 1 week, you must think, it's okay, I'm not going to die. Also, clothes. I like these clothes, these types of clothes, this company production. So you went for shopping, you cannot get the standard clothes, you feel very upset. You complain yourself, you complain the company. Again, same thing, I like these clothes with this design. If I cannot get, it's okay, I can buy other one. So therefore, the more you study Dharma, you try to be, you learn how to be a flexible person. Flexible person doesn't mean you follow everybody. Or somebody say, eat this, oh, I'm very flexible, I must eat. Oh, somebody asks you, drink this, you should not think, oh, I'm very flexible person, I must drink. No, flexible with the wisdom. If your mind is very, like a kind of standard, not able to change, not able to adjust, then you should not think, I follow Dharma. You should not think, I am studying Dharma. Because you are same person which you was 4 years ago. You are same person which you was 1 year ago. You cannot feel yourself, I am changed. Other people cannot see you are different. Right? Therefore, the knowledge of Dharma always must with us for 24 hours for 12 months. For with us until we died. Then any obstacle come in our life, any kinds of obstacle come, you're able to accept. You're not going to, like lose your peace of mind. For example, right now, everybody, so, we are together, we're discussing Dharma. Suddenly, some of you got a news, oh, one of your dearest one passed away. Suddenly, no Dharma, no patience, no understanding. Suddenly, you feel very upset. Suddenly, you start to crying. Again, it's very clear. For you, the Dharma is okay when you are okay. When you are not okay, then for you, Dharma is useless. You should not be like that. For example, somebody asked, I think 3 weeks ago, or during the pandemic time, I lost my mother. How I should control my emotion? The lady asked question to His Holiness Dalai Lama. He's given of course very nice response, advice. And he said, based on my experience, when his mother passed away, his mother was very kind, very compassionate, very kind lady. Then his Holiness said, when my mother passed away, first I feel upset. Suddenly, like a kind of shock. The second step, he reflect on the Buddha teaching. Everything impermanence, nothing can stay permanent. Nothing can in your hand. Then the upsetness slowly, disappear. For us, have to be like that. Suddenly, doctor told you your health is no good. You have a cancer. First step, second step, third, fourth step. Suddenly you cry, you feel very upset. Then what we should think? Whether I have a cancer or not, one day I have to live. I have to leave this world. Whether you're a healthy person, unhealthy person, one day, we have to separate. Doesn't matter how much you attach. Doesn't matter how much you have. No choice. The separation come. Come, definitely comes anytime, any moment. Then you can accept, losing your dearest one. That means look like whole our life is look like we are going around the like a shopping malls. Sometimes we are very happy to see the nice objects. Sometimes we feel very annoying object in the shop. So our life is like that. Good thing happen, also bad thing will happen. Bad thing is happened, good thing will happen. Nothing can control. Only we can control our mind, our emotion. If you're able to control your emotion when you go through the difficulties, problems, miseries, that able to control, able to maintain your inner mind. That means you are a good practitioner. You are a good Buddhist. You are happy when everything is okay. You are happy. You are not okay if things go wrong. Mean you are not really Buddhist. Definitely, we are not good Buddhist. Therefore, I say first, bring Dharma knowledge all the time for 24 hours. Second, try to be flexible person with the wisdom, able to understand the truth, able to accept, and should not, lose your inner peace. Accept the reality, just act normally. So this I want to say beginning of this class. I don't think we have a lot of time. It's a little at half hour. So today we study about like a meditation and wisdom. Last Sunday we discussed about the quality of the emptiness or characteristic of the emptiness. I think the page number compassion, equanimity. Oh yeah. Wisdom. Yeah. Page number 6. Last time, the last class we discussed, after generating the conventional awakening mind of bodhicitta, endeavor to the cultivate ultimate awakening mind of bodhicitta. The ultimate bodhicitta is transcendental and free from all elaboration. It is extremely clear the object of the ultimate, stainless, unwavering like a butter lamp, undisturbed by wind. So when we realize emptiness, right, when we really understood emptiness, this means transcendental. You change your perception. Yeah, when your perception change your life. Everything will change. It's very simple. For example, you really have a very strong attachment to someone. When you have very strong attachment to someone, attachment towards anything, for you, the thing is most important, most beautiful. You have a concept of important, beautiful about the object, which is you really attach for it. When you change the concept most important, most beautiful, then the attachment going to change. In order to change attachment and anger, we need to change the concept. We cannot change a person. You are very angry with someone, how you can change the person? You have a very attachment to someone, how you can change the person? You cannot. We never try to change the person. You can change the person today, tomorrow, the person becomes same. This is our problem. You're not happy with someone, then you try to change the person is a better person. Not easy at all. Therefore, we need to change our perception, our belief about the things. Therefore, it's a transcendental, free from all elaboration. When we realize emptiness, then all the kind of the nonsense thought cannot be there. For example, there's just one person. You have a concept about the person. You have a very good, kind of concept about the person. Other person has a very bad concept, but the person is just one. When you realize, oh, how come I thought this person is so good? He or she thought that person is so bad. Mean the good and bad, it depends on your concept. Your concept is depend on your thoughts, right? So when you realize emptiness, all the nonsense thoughts going to disappears. It is extremely clear. So this I already explained. Now we start the second paragraph. This achieved, right? Achieved constant and respectfully familiarity with the yoga of karma body meditation and spiritual insight over a long period of time. So emptiness can be realized when we practice karma body, spiritual insight over a long period of time. So we need to do meditation for long period of time. Then we realize emptiness. Therefore, quotation from Buddha teaching, O Mitriya, you must know that all the virtues dharma of hearers, bodhisattvas or tathagatas, whether worldly or transcendental, are the fruit of karma body, meditation and spiritual insight. Please remember this sentence. All the virtues, dharma of hearers, all the virtues, dharma of the bodhisattvas, all the virtues, dharmas of the tathagatas, all the worldly virtues, transcendental virtues are the fruit of karma body meditation and spiritual insight. That means all the virtues, all the good kind of things, the good things will produce based on karma body and special insight of meditation. This what you need to think, oh, the meditation is most important, right? Are fruit of the karma body meditation and special insight. Since all kinds of concentration, the concentration can be included in these two. Then all the practices, all kinds of meditations include fruit of the karma body, fruit of the spiritual insight, all include within these two, karma body and spiritual insight. All yogis must at all time, all yogis must at all time seek karma body, meditation and spiritual insight. Therefore, what Buddha said, all the practitioner, all the yogi, always, seek karma body, meditation and spiritual insight. So also, we must always do, meditation. Meditation, then I add a right and unmistaken meditation. Many Buddhist people have a wrong idea about how to meditate, a wrong idea about meditation. It's very normal. Before we start meditation, people, lit a candle light with a different fragrance and play soft music and just sit like this for 20 minutes, 30 minutes. This is exactly the same. You are taking a sleeping pill, have a good sleeping. The candle lights, the fragrance, the music is look like sleeping pill. You physically become very relaxed, mentally you become very relaxed. It doesn't mean you are meditating. Therefore, we must do meditation. We must do the right meditation. Therefore, yogi must at all times seek karma body meditation and spiritual insight. Again, quotation from Buddha teaching. The Buddha has said that it must be known that the teaching of virtue step of the concentration sought by hearers, bodhisattvas and tathagata are all contained in the karma body, meditation and spiritual insight. Therefore, you can see all the good quality of the hearers, bodhisattva, tathagata are actually content in the karma body and meditation spiritual insight. Yogi cannot. The next, why we need to do meditation, why we need to practice karma body, and spiritual insight. This word is translated from Tibetan. In Sanskrit, they call shamatha and vipassana, shamatha. This shamatha words, the Sanskrit word translated Tibetan, Tibetan word ji ne. Ji mean calm. Then abide mean stay. That's one. Calm mean ji. Abiding mean ne. Mean calm your mind and maintain the calm mind continuously. It's a Tibetan word, therefore ji ne, calm abiding, two words. So why we need to practice karma body, especially inside? Yogi cannot eliminate mental occupation merely by familiarizing themselves with the karma body meditation. It will only suppresses the disturbing emotions and the delusion temporarily, right? Based on karma body, based on shamatha, we need to practice vipassana, la thong, right? Vipassana. Again, spatial insight. There's a two words, spatial, then insight. Again, is translated from Tibetan. Tibetan, we say hak, thong. Chinese, you can say how kan, how kan, the hak, thong. How kan mean you see something which is very different. They said lak thong, right? Lak thong. Therefore, special mean very different, very unique. Inside mean see, sight. Again, Tibetan we call hak, thong. Karma body, ji, ne. Definite, I think in the Chinese language, the meaning is exactly, I think, same. Yogi cannot eliminate mental obscurations merely by familiarizing themselves with the karma body meditation alone. Therefore, if you just have a calm mind, you're able to maintain the calm mind for 2-3 hours, you should not think I'm good meditator. You are nothing. You are nothing. You are taking strong sleeping pill, you sleep for a few hours. That's it. After you woke up, you are sleeping, then all the emotional and mental problem will arise. When you woke up, everything's woke up. So special insight meditation, like insight meditating is look like you not just calm your mind, at the same time you are cutting the root of all the negative thoughts. First, you have to calm your mind. Then, not just be satisfied with the karma body, need to cut the root. These are very, I think, interesting experience. When your mind is very disturbed, when your mind is, not really calm, when you try to open the lock, you cannot. You use the wrong key, or you turn in the wrong way, or you didn't put the right, amount, you cannot open the lock because your mind is very disturbed. Your mind is not very calm. Also, you do a test today. You try to reach, like a highest point. You try to reach, you jump. You cannot. Calm your mind, calm yourself, and try to reach higher points. Very easily you can reach. You try to fix the certain problem, like your phone, so many problems you have, you try to fix. Definitely we cannot fix when our mind is not very calm, a lot of thoughts, a lot of disturb. We cannot. Again, calm your mind, calm down yourself, try to fix the problem. Any problem you can fix very easily. Therefore, first karma body, then spiritual insight. Without meditating on spiritual insight, you cannot eliminate that, population it will only suppresses the disturbing emotion and delusion temporarily, right? It's exactly same in the modern, like the psychology. You have a depression, or you have, for example, I have a depression, I have an anxiety, I have so many emotional problems. Then I visit a doctor. Doctor, diagnose me. Yes, he or she notice, oh, Gishayunda has a depression, Gishayunda has anxiety. They never teach me how to overcome the anxiety and depression. They give you, the pills every 1 month, maybe 4 pills every day. The second month, 3 pills every day. The last month, maybe 2 pills. They give you just, medicine. The medicine is more you look sleepy. It stop your mind, kind of active, stop your mind very actively, Therefore, you look like okay. When you stop your medication, again I go through depression, anxiety, right? So these are very problem, because few people who has a anxiety or depression, they lost job, every day taking, like a pills, and they come to see me. Then I said, first, if the doctor asks you to take 4 pills every day, you take only 3, reduce 1 pills. At the same time, I teach them, not teach, I discuss with them how to overcome from the anxiety and depression. If you're not able to, you are not trying to overcome from depression and anxiety, or you're just taking the pills, it's not the right solution. I ask them to reduce, first condition, you need to reduce the medicine. Second condition, you need to change your emotion, the standard. Then I can see, within a few days, few weeks, the people become more happy. Right? Therefore, what Buddha said, it will only suppress the disturbing emotion and delusion temporarily. Therefore, all the modern kind of psychologists, the medicine is suppressed temporarily, not really try to fix the root of the cause. Therefore, second, we really need to meditate on spiritual insight. Without the light of the wisdom, the latent potential of the disturbing emotion cannot be thoroughly destroyed. Please remember this sentence also. The latent potential of the disturbing emotion cannot be thoroughly destroyed. The latent potential. It's look like very common, I think, experience everybody has. First, you met someone in your life. Just you chit chat, have a tea, coffee, or you met on the road, on the street, you met, you just know each other. Then when you know each other, when you see each other, have a tea, coffee, discuss, you already put kind of latency, the mental imprint in your mind. You already start to put a seeds. Then slowly you meet again, quite often, discuss together, talk together. Then slowly start to liking each other. Again, the seeds become more stronger. Then after 1 or 2 years, you really, really like each other, and you can each other. Then the latency, the mental imprint become very, kind of solid. Then somehow there's a big argument, big fighting. Then your relationship is finished. Your friendship or relation is over. Physically over, verbally over. Mentally cannot. Then what you do, what we do, many people, physically the relationship is over. Verbally, the friendship or relation is over. The mental is still connected very strongly. Then what people usually do? Drink a lot of smoking, do a lot of smoke, hope, forget the memory. You try to discuss the memory and drink a lot of, alcohol, or go for like a short holiday, go for hiking and biking, try to wish to, describe the memory. Cannot. This means you are taking a temporal solution. Smoke every day. Once day you smoke like maybe a few boxes, drink, like a 2-3 bottle finish, or have some kind of dancing and singing and taking and hacking. This means you are relying only temporal solution. Even though the memory cannot go away, still there. Therefore, you need to do karma bonding, need to go more deeper, find the root of the problem, and get it, the root of the problem. Then you no need to drink any alcohol, you no need to smoke, you no need to go hiking and trekking, you no need to go party. All your memory is finished. That means emotion, memory, missing, everything is rooted by the latent potential. The latent means you put a seeds on your mind. Therefore, we need to get rid the seeds. Then no emotion, no memory, no missing. Everything is become normal. So we have 10 minutes. Is there any question? We have time for Q&A. If not, then we can stop our class. Any question?
Vishla, currently there is no questions yet.
Okay. Then we have one kind of small announcements. Early of the September, His Holiness is going to give a teaching, Asian teaching, based on the entering into the middle way by Chandrakirti. Very important, root text. So everybody, must attend the teaching. And I hope, through the TBC website or Facebook, they will provide the soft copy, I think very soon. So this one slowly I think you will get more information about the website. Then any of you have a question, you can ask the question to His Holiness Dalai Lama. So you must prepare your question and send to TBC through email. And the first priority, the people who haven't asked question to Dalai Lama, we give the more chance for the people who haven't asked. So you have a chance to ask a question. You send your question to TBC through email. So TBC will receive like maybe 100 questions. So we don't have a time to ask 100 questions. Among the 100 questions, the TBC ESCO will select maybe 2-3 questions. Then they will send you a kind of notice. Oh, so we selected you asking question to Dalai Lama. This is one important. Second, when you ask a question, you ask the question very clearly with a simple short sentence. For example, oh, yesterday, I have a very strong headache. I take this medicine, that medicine is still there. How I should heal my headache? Like this. Oh, I'm very hungry. What should I do? I'm very thirsty. What should I do? The question is very simple, clear. Then the Lama said, oh, if you're hungry, you must eat food. If you eat this food, it's good for this. That food, good for this. So first, clear, simple. Sometimes we can see the person asking question, or they're sharing their own experience or their own point of view. We never know, right? We can see. We should not be like that. Okay, so thank you so much for attending. So I think Stephen, I think you want to say more about the Q&A, so the question.
Oh yeah. So we will be. So everyone is invited to email your questions to the email address that I have just typed in the chat box. Is at admin@tibetanbc.org. So then the committee will then review the questions and selects the questions so that it can be posted and asked during the Asia teachings. So everyone is welcome to submit the questions. Yeah. So I think it's just a comment, Geshe-las, on one of the students on today's class. It says, in order to do such meditations, we need energy and courage and mental strength. Not everyone is capable of doing that. And in order to meditate, to get rid of the mental imprint of attachment, first the persons need a lot of mental strength and courage because the pain of missing someone. So this is just one of the comments that we received.
The first one, it can be truth for, few people. You cannot be truth for everybody. In order to do, the proper meditation, you need a lot of, the physical or mental strength and energy. No need. Very simple. You need to learn how to be focused, how to focus in just one action. For example, while you are drinking coffee, you just enjoy the coffee. Yeah, that's the taste, the environment, or the fragrance. Just enjoy the coffee. Feel the taste. Right now, what we do, drink coffee, watching mobile, looking here and there. Actually, we really don't know what we are doing. Are we really drinking coffee? Are we really interfering with someone? Are we checking our email? At the same time, we are doing so many actions. Therefore, we are not really focused. Very simple, believe me. You just learn how to focus in just one action. Eating, just focus about eating. When you're drinking, just drinking. So when you're reading a book, just focus you are reading the book. But what we do, we put our phone on one side, reading book, then check, then feel a bit tired, then we play all the like movie or YouTube. So therefore, we have a lot of disturb. Simple, learn how to focus. Focus. Very simple. Second, you are very correct. In order to get rid of the missing your dear father, your mother, your relatives, someone you pass away, or someone you have a break the relationship, break up the things, is not easy. Not easy, but there's one way, very easy way. What do we do? We always try to remember, oh, what the person is doing, what he is doing, what she is doing, what he is eating, where she is. You always recall the person, that the missing never go away. You need to stop. For example, you have a fighting with someone, you are very angry, you have a fight. Then you always remember, about the fighting, the argument, the bad words. Then how we can, get rid of the, the memory? You cannot. You just think fighting is over. Don't think much. Don't think in advance. Just stop to recall all the things. Then the memory, the missing, going to forget very fast, very soon, very easily. Yeah. So thank you so much for attending the class.
But Geshe-la, one last questions before we go.
Mm-hmm.
What is the suggested durations for self-meditation?
Duration.
Yes, duration.
There's no such as, like any, we say, this is the right time. This is, you must meditate for 5 or 10 minutes. As a beginner, you're totally new, right? If you're totally new in meditation, first you learn how to focus for 1 minute. Then relax. Second, again, focus the same object. Focus on 2 minutes. Relax. Then slowly you can, extend the time bit more. But you should not change the object of meditation. You just use same object. Also, I think many of you maybe study or attend the Mahamudra Chakchen teaching. Also, they said, as a beginner, at the beginning, if you just start to meditate on Buddha, you cannot, as a beginner. You just focus on, simple flower, simple things which you can able to focus. This is not the right meditation, but it is the kind of basic thing how to learn focus on. Right? Then slowly you can extend your timing. You can do more longer. But if you don't know how to do meditation, if you try to do the bit longer meditation, then you're totally destroying the foundation of meditation. You're really you're putting yourself in very kind of the dangerous kind of situation. That means first you need to know how to do meditation. First step. Then slowly you can extend the time. If you don't know how to do meditation, you just be relaxed, be quiet, nothing in your mind. Then you are putting a really bad kind of foundation for your meditation. There's not such as duration. All the masters said as a beginner, quite often, short time. When you have become quite good, then you can do longer meditation. The meditation bit longer is better. At the beginning, you should know. Right? For example, many of you have kids. Many you have kids. You know about your relative kids. When we first time when you teach, the Chinese papa, mafa, tata, nala, we don't teach everybody everything. You don't teach A to Z. I say A, few times. Let them play. You say B, A, B, C, D. The children don't have energy, or children slowly, totally, distant from the studying. Why you say A, okay, you are very good. Go and play. And come back. B, A, B, B. Oh, you're very good. Go play and come back. So we have to be, as a beginner, we have to be really look like very kids, right? So this is, I think, duration is a very important. So you must know how to do the correct meditation and the right, the right amount of duration. Yeah, thank you so much. So we can start our Sunday class, even though all of you kind of Sundays your holiday. Enjoy your holiday and thank you so much. Attend the the Sunday class. I really hope you can learn a little bit through our Sunday meditation. The most important, I always really wish all of you to be more happy person, calm person, very flexible, able to adjust in any situations, able to accept any kind of problems, accept, knowing, accept is different. Accept means when you accept, you don't have kind of the emotional problems. Thank you. And at last, we do dedication. First, we dedicate the merit of becoming Buddha ourselves to benefit all sentient beings. In order to become Buddha, we need to do the correct study and correct practices. Second, we dedicate the merit to have the right understanding and the right practices. In order to do the right meditation, the right studying, also we need the external, the right conditions, like a food, clothes, house, environment. So we dedicate the merit to have the conducive condition for studying and practices. Last, we dedicate the merit to live long life. All the spiritual masters have a whole world peace, free all human beings from the disease, sickness, and particularly the COVID-19. Okay, thank you so much. Have a happy Sunday. Thank you.